Thank you, Niranjan, for reminding. What do you think our blood will be? Solution or colloid? Okay, I'm getting mixed answers. That's okay. All right. So many people told that it is a colloid. Now, when blood comes out of our body, the solid and liquid are not separated, right? It clots later. That's a different thing. But when it immediately comes out, or if I take it, if I put an injection, the entire blood comes out as a liquid, comes out as a solution. Yes. So इसका मतलब अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि ब्लड कोलॉइड है और मैं जब बॉडी में से ब्लड निकालता हूं तो वो लिक्विड फॉर्म में होता है, सॉलिड और ये सेपरेटेड नहीं रहते हैं. याद है उसके कंपोनेंट्स को सेपरेट करने के लिए मुझे सेंट्रीफ्यूगेशन करना पड़ता है ना. तो अगर वो सेपरेटेड नहीं रहते हैं तो बॉडी में ब्लड को कौन हिला रहा है? मतलब हम लोग को जंप करते रहना पड़ेगा. वेरी गुड आर्या. आर्या एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. एवरीबॉडी अंडरस्टूड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट कि एक कोलॉइड है, वो कोलॉइड को आपको शेक करना पड़ेगा अगर उसको आपको सोल्यूशन बनाना है तो. सो बहुत सारे लोगों ने लिखा कि ब्लड इज अ सोल्यूशन. ठीक है. बहुत सारे लोगों ने लिखा ब्लड कोलॉइड है. तो अगर आपके हिसाब से ब्लड कोलॉइड है तो ब्लड को कॉन्स्टेंटली शेक करते रहना पड़ेगा. नाउ द करेक्ट आंसर इज ब्लड इज अ कोलॉइड. और ब्लड को कॉन्स्टेंटली शेक करते रहता है हार्ट. इसीलिए हार्ट का बीट करना बहुत जरूरी है. अगर हार्ट बीट करना बंद हो जाएगा, ब्लड मूव करना बंद हो जाएगा, ब्लड सेल्स के पास पहुंचना बंद हो जाएगा, ब्लड की एनर्जी कम हो जाएगी एंड द पर्सन विल डाई. If this information you did not know, you know what to write. Aha. So blood is a colloid. Blood is a colloid where the heart will keep on pumping. So the dynamics of a colloid and solution are same, but instead of writing osmotic pressure here, I will just write colloid osmotic pressure. Itna samjha hai? Now I move on to my next question. Okay. So suppose I have two beakers, okay, or two solutions. One solution is A and one solution is B. Okay. इन दोनों के पास सॉल्वेंट है, करेक्ट, और इन दोनों के पास सल्यूट है. ठीक है. सो इन दोनों के पास ये प्रेशर होगा बाहर की तरफ जाने वाला, ये प्रेशर होगा अंदर की तरफ जाने वाला. ये ब्लू बीकर के पास भी प्रेशर है बाहर की तरफ जाने वाला एंड ये प्रेशर है अंदर की तरफ जाने वाला. ठीक है. सो देयर इज 1, 2, 3 and 4. So in the chat box, children, if you have understood the concept, I've kept two beakers together. Okay. So दोनों अगर कोलॉइड है, ठीक है, कोलॉइड और सॉल्यूशन का डायनामिक सेम होते हैं, करेक्ट. सो दोनों के पास कोलॉइड ऑस्मोटिक प्रेशर होगा और दोनों के पास हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर होगा. So colloid osmotic pressure of A will be written colloid osmotic pressure A subscript colloid osmotic pressure subscript A, colloid osmotic pressure subscript B, hydrostatic pressure subscript A, hydrostatic pressure subscript B. Now in the chat box you have to tell me what is 1, 2, 3 and 4. What is 1, 2, 3 and 4? आप subscript नहीं लिख पाओगे लेकिन आप alphabets लिख सकते हो. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 are forces or pressures. If you have understood my discussion from the earlier class, I have just kept two solutions near each other. Okay. I have kept the two solutions near each other. So tell me what will be 1, what will be 2, what will be 3, and what will be 4. Kushi, your answer is absolutely correct. Suramya, आपने वो A का है कि B का है वो नहीं लिखा है सुरम्या. So please write down. Aditi, just rework on your answer. Think again, look at it again. Come on, what about the others? Only 4 or 5 are giving me the answers. देवांगी, A और B को बीकर्स को अलग अलग सोचो. मैंने साथ में लिखा है कंफ्यूज करने के लिए. दोनों को अलग अलग सोचो और अलग अलग अगर आप इमेजिन करोगे तो आपको पता चल जाएगा कि कौन सा क्या है. Niranjan, rework. Okay. So I really don't know why y'all are still getting confused. So the force which is going inside the beaker is colloid osmotic pressure. ठीक है? And the force जो beaker जैसा चीज बना है which is coming out is hydrostatic pressure. बस इन आउट का ही खेल है. इन आउट का खेल है. चारों देखो कौन सा इन जा रहा है कौन सा आउट जा रहा है. ब्लैक में लिखा है तो वो ए है और ब्लैक में बना है तो ए बीकर का बना है और ब्लू में बना है तो बी बीकर का बना है. सिंपल है. जय, absolutely correct. You got it now. Okay. ठीक है, मैं एक काम करता हूं, मैं बी बीकर को 2 मिनट के लिए निकाल देता हूं. ओके. सो बी बीकर है ही नहीं. बी बीकर है ही नहीं. ठीक है. तो ब्लैक वाले लाइंस 1 और 3 है. अब मुझे बता सकते हो 1 क्या है? 1 क्या होगा? गुड देवांगी. बट किसका जो आपने आंसर लिखा वो किसका है? बीकर ए का कि बीकर बी का? देवांगी, ज्योत्सना, दोबारा से आंसर लिखिए. हाँ. तो 1 will be hydrostatic pressure of A and 3 will be colloid osmotic pressure of B. sorry, of A. 1 will be hydrostatic pressure of A and 3 will be colloid osmotic pressure of A. ठीक है, अब यहाँ पे B को वापस लेके आते हैं. Let's bring back B. अब सिर्फ B का बीकर देखना और मुझे बताओ 2 और 4 क्या होगा B का. तो 2 will be hydrostatic pressure of B, बाहर की तरफ निकल रहा है, and 4 will be colloid osmotic pressure of B, क्योंकि ये B के अंदर जा रहा है. Good, Niranjan. Your all 4 answers are now correct. So if I have to write this arrow is hydrostatic pressure of A and this is colloid osmotic pressure of A. Number 3 is colloid osmotic pressure of A. Yes. Number 2 is hydrostatic pressure of B and number 4 is colloid osmotic pressure of B. So the correct answer was hydrostatic pressure of A is 1, hydrostatic pressure of B is 2, colloid osmotic pressure of A is 3, and 4 was colloid osmotic pressure of B. Everyone understood? Great, great. अगर ये सब देख के अगर दिमाग का दही हो चुका है तुम्हारा तो चैट बॉक्स में लिखो भेजा फ्राई. अगर ये सब देख के ये एक्सरसाइज देख के दिमाग का दही हो गया है, राइट डाउन भेजा फ्राई. ओके, बट आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड इट. ठीक है भरत. सो हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर. ओके, गुड निरंजन. यस, ओके. चलो, अब अगर ये समझ में आया है ये चारों प्रेशर्स, है ना, तो थोड़ा सा अब काम की बात करते हैं. ये तो क्वेश्चन भी नहीं था, ये तो सिर्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग था. ओके, नाउ सपोज मैंने सॉल्यूशन ए को इधर लिया और सॉल्यूशन बी को इधर लिया. ठीक है, और इनके बीच में स्टार्टिंग में एक पार्टीशन रखा, तो सॉल्यूशन ए इधर आएगा, करेक्ट. सॉल्यूशन बी इधर आएगा, और जब मैंने ये सॉल्यूशन भर दिया तो ये पार्टीशन को मैं निकाल दूंगा. ओके, सो कैन यू टेल मी which forces will help in the movement of fluid from B to A, A to B. मतलब मैं आपको बोल रहा हूं कि फ्लूइड A to B मूव कर रहा है. What are the forces which help in movement from A to B? Take this example as reference. ठीक है, A से B में जाने के लिए कौन से फोर्सेस, इन दे रहा हूं, 2 फोर्सेस होंगे, एक नहीं होगा, 2 फोर्सेस होंगे. वेरी गुड किरण, वेरी गुड, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. रश्मि, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. खुशी, परफेक्ट. Bharat, there are 2 pressures. Jay, absolutely correct. Aditi, there are 2 pressures. So Ramya, which are the 2 pressures? So in the example that I gave you earlier, There are 4 pressures, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of those 4, 2 will be helpful. Correct, Deep? Absolutely correct. Niranjan, rework. Aditi, the movement is happening from A to B. So which forces will be helpful? If movement is happening from A to B, out of the given forces, 1, 2, 3, 4, which forces will be helpful? Bharat, the answer that you wrote was of A or was of B? Niranjan, now you are absolutely correct. Devangi, absolutely correct. Okay. So if the movement is happening from A to B, if the movement has to happen from A to B, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, what is allowing the movement? Movement from A to B, what is allowing? Arrows match करना है. यही question पूछा मैंने. Arket, absolutely correct. So if the movement is happening from A to B, 1 is helping because ये यही direction में जा रहा है. 4 is also helping because ये यही direction में जा रहा है. Okay? I hope you understood the concept, right? I know you have understood it. चलो अब मैं यही question को थोड़ा घुमा के पूछता हूँ. Out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, can you tell me which forces or which pressures prevent the movement from A to B? Which pressures or forces will prevent the movement from A to B? देवांगी, नंबर नहीं लिखना है, फोर्सेस के नाम लिखने हैं. अदिति, फोर्सेस के नाम लिखने हैं. Niranjan, absolutely correct. Kiran, absolutely correct. Jay, correct. Kushi, correct. Deep, correct. Bharat, absolutely correct. Devangi, absolutely correct. तो आप लोग को समझा? Now, even if I don't have this diagram in the remember hydrostatic pressure is more important. Yes, hydrostatic pressure is more important. So if hydrostatic pressure is more important, so movement from A to B है. So what will allow? दो ही pressure है, hydrostatic pressure and colloid osmotic pressure. So if the movement is happening from A to B, what will allow is hydrostatic pressure of A and colloid osmotic pressure of B. This will allow the movement. समझा? So कैसे याद रखना? Hydrostatic pressure is more important here in this context to remember it. So whenever hydrostatic pressure, Harsh, if you want, you can switch off your video because I can see you talking to somebody. Great. So hydrostatic pressure of A and colloid osmotic pressure of B will allow the movement from A to B. Okay. Now, tell me what will allow the movement from X to Y? Come on, quickly write down this. What will allow the movement from X to Y? Absolutely correct. Hydrostatic pressure of X and colloid osmotic pressure of Y will allow. Very good. So tell me, if movement happens from G to B, if the movement happens from G to B, what will be the net pressure by which the movement will take place? If the movement is happening from G to B, what will be the net pressure? No, Bharat. Net pressure will be whatever pressure allow minus whatever pressure prevents. Kushi, you gave me the pressure which will allow. Can you tell me what will be the net pressure? Kiran, when you type an answer and then press enter, and then you write half the answer in the second part, there are some 10, 11 messages in between, right? So write it in one sentence only or use shift enter. If you use shift enter, it will not be submitted. Absolutely correct, Khushi. Absolutely correct, Deep. Absolutely correct, Niranjan. So hydrostatic pressure of G and colloid osmotic pressure of B will allow the movement. Hydrostatic pressure of B and colloid osmotic pressure of G will prevent the movement. So the net pressure by which the movement will take place is called, it will be this. समझा? तो ये G और B जो है, पता है क्या है? G is glomerulus and B is Bowman's capsule. बच्चे इन दोनों के बीच में एक प्रोसेस को क्या बोलते हैं? सुरा में एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, अदिति आल्सो करेक्ट. ये जो प्रोसेस अभी मैंने बताया, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट खुशी. जय एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. आदित्य एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. Deep absolutely correct. It is a pressure. So for people those who are still guessing, it is a process of urine formation. So the process of urine formation is filtration of blood. So filtration of blood will take place from glomerulus to Bowman's capsule to produce urine. The force by which it will take place is hydrostatic pressure in the glomerulus and colloid osmotic pressure in the Bowman's capsule minus hydrostatic pressure of the Bowman's capsule and colloid osmotic pressure of the. Now मेरे को एक बात बताओ, ग्लोमेरुलस और बोमेंस कैप्सूल दोनों में से किसका हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर ज्यादा रहेगा? हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर ऑफ ग्लोमेरुलस और हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर ऑफ बोमेंस कैप्सूल में से किसका प्रेशर ज्यादा रहेगा? भरत एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, खुशी करेक्ट, परगम करेक्ट, रिमझिम करेक्ट. हाँ, अब याद आ रहा है जो स्कूल में पढ़ाया था. खुशी ने लिखा था पहले अभी कि the diameter of the afferent arteriole is greater than the diameter of the efferent arteriole. So more blood enters the glomerulus and less blood comes out of the glomerulus. Hence blood in the glomerulus is under high pressure, and that pressure is not because glomerulus में substance add हुए, है ना? वो इसीलिए क्योंकि ग्लोमेरुलस में बाहर से प्रेशर मतलब हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर ज्यादा था. So that is why the sum total of these two pressures is always higher than the sum total of these two pressures. Hence filtration will always take place from G to P. ठीक है ना? So I can say, अब ये सब समझने का एक important ये है कि hydrostatic pressure tends to throw out or it tends to cause osmosis. Osmosis is movement of water. Hydrostatic pressure tends to throw the fluid out. Matlab whenever there is any membrane in between, it'll try to throw it out. Okay. Colloid osmotic pressure, on the other hand, will try to keep the solution, try to keep the fluid in. Okay. So now, can you tell me what will happen if in the body there is a deficiency of albumin? अगर albumin की deficiency होगी तो क्या होगा? आपको ये मैंने सिखाया, albumin is the most abundant protein. दूसरा सीखा है, it is helping in transport. Hence, it will decide the thickness of blood. More the amount of albumin, more will be the substances transported in blood. Now, because it is going to decide the substances which are dissolved in blood, we say that there is osmotic pressure. It decides osmotic pressure. So, what will happen if there is deficiency of albumin? Okay, many people wrote that if there is deficiency of albumin, the osmotic pressure will become less. Very good, Kushi. Now, when osmotic pressure becomes less, what will happen? Bharat, the blood will not be thick. The blood will become thinner because albumin is less. Now, Paragam gave me one word. मतलब ऐसा, when you can't convince them, confuse them. तो Paragam ने मुझे लिखा deficiency of albumin, hypoalbuminism. Hypoalbuminism. Very good. I don't want to know what it is called. I want to know what happens. Okay. So the blood will become thinner. The osmotic pressure will decrease. Now, when osmotic pressure decreases, what will happen is, ultrafiltration was just an example to tell you that osmotic pressure will hold the water in the solution, right? It's a force which goes inside. Okay. So osmotic pressure agar kam ho gaya, so fluid will leak out of capillaries, and by fluid I mean plasma. Okay. So water content of plasma, the fluid will leak out of the capillaries or blood vessels, and when the fluid gets accumulated just below the skin, we get something known as swelling. That swelling, we did it last time, is called edema, the last to last time. So we can say that albumin is the chief water holding protein of plasma. It is the chief water holding protein of plasma. Okay. If the blood becomes thin, the pressure of blood will decrease. And if blood pressure decreases, blood might not be able to reach all the cells. Okay, Khushi, we just did with examples that one function of osmotic pressure is, the direction of osmotic pressure is inside, right? That means osmotic pressure will try to hold the water molecules. It is a pressure exerted by solvent molecules to stay in the solution. So if osmotic, चलो अगर मुझे एक सिंपल इसमें एक्सप्लेन करना है, तो सपोज मैंने एक पानी लिया, okay, I took some amount of water, okay, say I took 100 ml water, and in that I added 1 kilogram of salt, ठीक है? Now the entire salt will not get dissolved in it, correct? Now other example लेते हैं. Suppose if I take 100 ml of water, and in that if I take 1 spoon of salt, Now that 1 spoon of salt can dissolve in water, but the water and salt will be separate. Matlab, it is dissolved, but I can see water separately. Yes. Now, if the osmotic pressure is less, the water will have a tendency to move away. अगर मैंने salt बहुत ज़्यादा डाल दिया तो salt will trap the water. It will keep on holding the water. ठीक है? मतलब whenever you have a concentrated solution, it will try to drag water from dilute solution. Right, Kushi? You studied that in your ICSC, that if I have a concentrated solution, it will drag or it will take in water. So a concentrated solution means उसका osmotic pressure high है. अगर उसका osmotic pressure high है, मतलब वो water लेगा. अगर osmotic pressure low हो गया, तो वो dilute हो गया. और अगर वो dilute हो गया, मतलब water can go to the next concentrated solution. Okay. So if osmotic pressure is more, the fluid will be present in blood. It will not go out to it will be concentrated. So it will try to take in water, not lose water. Okay. So this is albumin. The second one are called globulins. Yeah. Globulins, as we have studied, are globular proteins where the amino acid chains will join together to form a circular ring-like structure. Now there are many types of globulins, like we have alpha globulins, we have beta globulins, and we have gamma globulins. Okay, in blood there is a respiratory pigment called hemoglobin. Hemoglobin has two components. One of this is called heme, and attached to heme there are 4 globulins. 2 alpha globulins and 2 beta globulins. So hemoglobin sometimes is also written as alpha 2 beta 2. So hemoglobin will have 1 heme and 4 globulins. Hemoglobin, ये word उससे आया है. It has 1 heme and 4 globulins. So alpha and beta globulins are helpful in the formation of hemoglobin. Gamma globulin, on the other hand, will actually be the antibody. Okay, we've discussed this last time. When any foreign body enters our body, our WBCs will create antibodies. Those antibodies are gamma globulins. These are globulins which provide immunity. So they are also called immunoglobulins. Yeah. So there are plasma albumin, plasma globulin. There are many types of globulins. There are 3 in our syllabus: alpha, beta, and gamma. Alpha and beta together will form hemoglobin, and gamma is the globulin, gamma globulin, also called immunoglobulin, are nothing but antibodies which are produced by the WBCs, which actually help in giving us immunity against diseases. Apart from this, WBCs also produce one more protein called heparin. Now we have done this word heparin. Can you tell me in the chat box very quickly what is the function of heparin? Come on in the chat box. Yes, Suramya, you're correct. What about the others? Very good. Kiran, absolutely correct. Amisha, correct. Khushi, correct. Niranjan, what you have written is not the major function of heparin. Okay, heparin does not allow the blood to clot. So heparin is an anticoagulant. Okay. Now this is found in plasma. So it's a protein which is an anticoagulant. So as long as these proteins are there in blood, as long as blood has these proteins, it will not clot. So blood inside our body should not clot. Okay. Now, who produces heparin? We have done this. There are special cells of the connective tissue called mast cells. Mast cells are cells of connective tissue which release heparin. Apart from this, we have a type of WBCs called basophils. Basophils are a type of WBCs. They will also produce heparin. So structurally and functionally, mast cells and basophils, they look very similar. So that's why sometimes they ask you an MCQ. Mast cells of connective tissue resemble which cells of blood? Mast cells of connective tissue resemble WBCs. So heparin is an anticoagulant. But these two, they produce it, and this is what we have studied. Can you tell me the organ which produces maximum heparin? Hint, it is hidden in the name. The organ which would produce maximum heparin, I gave you a hint. It is hidden in the name. Yes, Bharat, Niranjan, Devangi, Kiran, Kushi. Absolutely correct. Hepa. Hepa comes from the word hepatos. Hepatos का मतलब होता है liver. So an adjective for the liver is hepatic. Okay, adjective for the liver is hepatic. So the liver produces large quantity of heparin, and that is why heparin is called heparin. If you find that this was too shocking, you know what to write. 440, 440. Yeah, heparin is produced mainly by the liver, and that is why it is called heparin. In fact, let me put it this way. All plasma proteins are formed in the liver. Can you give me one exception? Can you give me one exception? Exception matlab a plasma protein which is not formed in the liver. Hint, it is there on the board. Yes, Suramya, absolutely correct. Albumin is formed in the liver. The gamma globulins, अभी सिखाया था ना, gamma globulins को कौन बनाता है? Yes, Paragam, correct. Gamma globulins को कौन बनाता है? Gamma globulins are produced by WBC. ठीक है? If you knew the answer but you typed it incorrectly, गलती से mistake. टाइप, गलती से मिस्टेक, जीएसएम, मतलब अरे सर वी न्यू इट बट आंसर गलत आ गया. ओके, सो गुड. सो रिमेंबर वॉट एवर प्लाज्मा प्रोटीन्स वी हैव स्टडीड, और हम आगे जो भी करने वाले हैं वो लिवर से रिलेटेड है. तो अगर किसी का लिवर फेल होता है तो उसको ब्लड के भी प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं. If the liver fails, the amount of albumin will decrease in blood. And if the liver, yes, liver failure is related to cirrhosis, yes. तो अगर liver fail हो गया और उसका blood, तो albumin भी कम हो जाएगा, तो उसके बॉडी में इडीमा होता है. तो अगर किसी पर्सन को बहुत सारा बॉडी में इडीमा आ रहा है, बहुत सारा सूजन आ रहा है, तो हम उसका लिवर का टेस्ट करवाते हैं, बिकॉज द रीजन कुड बी एल्ब्यूमिन डिक्रीजिंग इन ब्लड. Okay, so that is heparin. It does not allow the blood to clot. Interestingly, plasma also has clotting factors. All in all, there are 13 clotting factors in plasma. Clotting factors are substances which help in clotting. Okay, there are 13 clotting factors. Now tell me, in the plasma, do you think the clotting factor will be present in an active stage or an inactive stage? Very good. अगर वो एक्टिव स्टेज में रहेगा तो ब्लड बॉडी के अंदर ही क्लॉट हो जाएगा, राइट? सो बेसिकली दे आर प्रेजेंट इन एन इनएक्टिव स्टेज. द टू क्लॉटिंग फैक्टर्स दैट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर आर थ्रोम्बोप्लास्टिन. Thromboplastin and fibrinogen. ओके, ऐसे 13 होते हैं, बट मैं चाहता हूं कि आप यही दोनों याद रखो ना. इसका मीनिंग चलो डिकोड करने की कोशिश करते हैं. एक वर्ड जो शायद आपने पहले सुना होगा, आजकल हार्ट अटैक्स बहुत कॉमन हो रहे हैं. have you heard of the word angioplasty? सबने सुना एंजियोप्लास्टी? उसमें एंजियो का मतलब क्या होता है? नो भारत. याद रखना, यही वर्ड दूसरे जगह पे भी यूज होता है, एंजियोस्पर्म. वर्ड सेम है. My question is, what is the meaning of the word angio in angioplasty? जो भी वर्ड है, ये दोनों इधर है और दोनों का मीनिंग सेम है. अगर आपको झटका लगा है तो आप 440 लिख सकते हो. Yes, many of you all gave the correct answer. एंजियो का मतलब होता है वेसल. ओके, सो स्पर्म का मतलब क्या होता है? स्पर्म का मतलब क्या होता है? याद रखना, ह्यूमन का मेल गमीट को भी स्पर्म बोलते हैं. तो जो भी आप आंसर दोगे, कुछ लोगों ने आंसर सही दिया, बाद में मेरे बोलने के बाद लोग चेंज कर रहे हैं. निरंजन एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, खुशी करेक्ट, परगम करेक्ट. इट्स सीड. So angiosperm का मतलब है seed enclosed in a vessel. That means seed enclosed in fruit. And yes, male gamete is also called sperm because old English language में old way of saying the sperm was seed of man. तो ऐसे बोलते थे कि a man impregnates a woman और implant मतलब seed का implant होता है ना? तो spermatozoa here means seed of animal. तो sperm का मतलब seed होता है. Anyways, so angioplasty में जो angio है वो कौन सा vessel है? वो है blood vessel. बहुत सारे लोगों ने सही जवाब दिया. ठीक है? अब सबने प्लास्टिक सर्जरी का नाम सुना है? तो प्लास्टिक सर्जरी को प्लास्टिक सर्जरी क्यों बोलते हैं? उसमें क्या कौन सा प्लास्टिक यूज करते हैं? और प्लास्टिक बैन होने के बाद प्लास्टिक सर्जरी कंटिन्यू होगा क्या? निरंजन, वो सरकास्टिक क्वेश्चन था. प्लास्टिक प्लास्टिक सर्जरी को प्लास्टिक सर्जरी क्यों बोलते हैं? कम ऑन, आई वांट ऑल ऑफ यू ऑल. जो जितना आता है वो बोलो. Plasty means to repair, and it has nothing to do with plastic that you know as plastic. Plasty means repair. If it was your aha moment and you got a shock, you know what to write. Aha 440. You've been listening to this word plastic for quite some time. भरत ने 4040 लिखा है भाई. हमेशा 404 वोल्ट ज्यादा बड़ा नहीं होता. Okay kids, anyways, I hope you understood it. मजाक कर रहा हूँ. प्लास्टिक का मतलब होता है टू रिपेयर. कुछ लोगों ने लिखा था रिफॉर्म. That's also correct. या तो प्लास्टिक का प्लास्टिक से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. तो प्लास्टिक सर्जरी का मतलब है a surgery which is used to repair or reform or change anything. So can you tell me children, what is angioplasty mean? What will be angioplasty? Come on in the chat box now. You know the meaning. Very good Kushi. Very good Niranjan. So अगर किसी very good Suramya, very good Paragam, very good अरे इतने सारे फास्ट, इतना फास्ट. रिमझिम, अर्कित, गुड. देवांगी. सो इतने सारे जगहों पे हम एंजियोप्लास्टी इसीलिए करते हैं बिकॉज हार्ट के ब्लड वेसल्स डैमेज हो जाते हैं और वो ब्लड वेसल्स हार्ट के मसल को इनफ ब्लड नहीं पहुंचा पाते, तो इसीलिए हम ये वर्ड यूज करते हैं कॉल्ड एंजियोप्लास्टी. ओके. अब लास्ट क्लास हमने एक वर्ड किया था कॉल्ड थ्रोम्बोसिस. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड थ्रोम्बोसिस? कम ऑन. वेरी गुड Paragam. Niranjan. Josna. Platelet is not thrombosis. Thrombosis. Platelet is thrombocyte. So what is thrombosis? Thrombosis is the process of clotting. Yes, very good. Most of you all have given it correct. Aditi, Jay, Akhilesh. Akhilesh बहुत टाइम के बाद आंसर किया. वेरी गुड अखिलेश. जय. ठीक है ना. सो थ्रोम्बोप्लास्टिन एक ऐसा प्रोटीन होता है जो रिपेयर और वो रिपेयर करने में और क्लॉटिंग करने में दोनों में मदद करता है. ओके. देन देयर इज वन मोर, प्रोथ्रोम्बिन. ठीक है. सो दीज आर 13 क्लॉटिंग फैक्टर्स है, उसमें से 3 का ही नाम मैं आपको बता रहा हूं. थ्रोम्बोप्लास्टिन, फाइब्रिनोजिन एंड प्रोथ्रोम्बिन. सो थ्रोम्बोप्लास्टिन is actually released by platelets. So mainly it is released by platelets and other dying tissues. Yes. But बाकी दोनों clotting factors are present in the plasma itself. Now prothrombin, so whenever say we have a blood vessel, blood is flowing, there's an injury, so blood starts coming out. Now only when blood starts coming out, the heparin will get inactivated, the platelet will release thromboplastin, and there will be a series of reactions that will happen here. Now what is that reaction? There are many reactions. Last 2 reactions I'm telling you. Prothrombin, which is inactive, will get converted into thrombin, and thrombin will convert fibrinogen into fibrin. Okay. Yes. And for all of these, we will need calcium ions. So calcium ions are used for clotting also. ठीक है Bharat? Good. So prothrombin is converted to thrombin, and thrombin will convert fibrinogen into fibrin, and these fibrin threads will form a clot. Did we understand? So as a plasma protein, fibrinogen is inactive, prothrombin is inactive. Now kids, just telling you something. Whenever a word ends with ogen, ogen का मतलब होता है will give rise to. Okay? ओजन का मतलब होता है will give rise to. ठीक है. So fibrinogen gives rise to fibrin. Can you tell me what does pepsinogen give rise to? सब बहुत लोगों ने सही लिखा है, बहुत लोगों ने पेप्सी लिखा है. Pepsinogen will not give rise to Pepsi and Coca-Cola. ओजन है ना बच्चे, नोजन नहीं है. तो pepsin will give rise to, pepsinogen will give rise to pepsin. It is an enzyme in the stomach. It's an enzyme in the stomach. Similarly, what will trypsinogen give rise to? Very good. Now everyone is writing this correctly. Very nice. Trypsinogen will give rise to trypsin. Trypsin is an enzyme in the produced by the pancreas. So it's a pancreatic enzyme. So a lot of times enzymes, a lot of times products in our body are present in an inactive state. They are activated. Okay. So fibrinogen is inactive form. Fibrin is active form. So ये बहुत important है. Normally in blood, anticoagulant. Normally in blood, anticoagulants will be in inactive form, and anticoagulants will be in active form, heparin, and coagulants or clotting factors will be in an inactive form. So what did we come to know? Come on. A person is suffering from liver failure. A person is suffering from liver failure. Why does a person suffering from liver failure suffer from edema? Generalized swelling of the body. Come on, in the chat box, write down. Correct, Aditi, Bharat, Niranjan. Bharat, you're incorrect. Recheck. Correct, Devangi. Correct, Niranjan. Yes, Ramya. Liver failure के वजह से liver will not be able to produce albumin. Because liver will not be able to produce albumin, the osmotic pressure of blood will become less. So blood will become thinner or diluter, and water can leak out of blood. Also, most of the plasma proteins are produced by the liver. So a person who is having liver failure, uska time for clotting. Okay, so this is a question. In liver failure, time for clotting, does it increase or does it decrease? Come on, in the chat box, tell me. Suppose a person is having liver failure, so uska clotting time for clotting, will it increase or will it decrease? Okay. So I have got mixed answers. Let me clarify this. तो एक liver failure के patient में clotting factors बढ़ेंगे. Clotting factors मतलब fibrinogen, thromboplastin, वो बढ़ेंगे या कम हो जाएंगे? देखो, CF increase या CF decrease? देखो, clotting factors बढ़ेंगे या clotting factors कम हो जाएंगे? Because liver also produces clotting factors. So because liver also produces clotting factors, the amount of clotting factors in blood will decrease. So the blood will have less fibrinogen, less thromboplastin, so on and so forth. Now, अगर उसका clotting factor कम हो गया है quantity में, तो उसके blood को clot होने में ज़्यादा time लगेगा या कम time लगेगा? Is the blood clot going to become faster or is the blood clot going to become slower? So the clotting of blood is going to take more time. And if there is extreme deficiency, it might not even clot. So basically, I can say that the blood clot will become slower. Clotting of blood will become slower. If clotting of blood is slower, will it take more time or less time? Great. So in liver failure, the clotting time or time for clotting will increase. Right, Aditi? You got it now. Yes, Devangi, you got it now. So in liver failure, because the liver, see, liver is producing all plasma proteins. So because liver is producing a lot of plasma proteins, including clotting factors, liver will produce less clotting factors. So blood clotting will take more time. So we say that the clotting time will increase. Please make a note of this carefully. So this is all about plasma, look, correct? Now please be ready with your with the typing, because I'm going to ask you questions, some really quick questions. If you want me to ask you really quick questions, you know what to do. Type bio really quickly. आयो नहीं, रिमझिम आयो नहीं, bio. Okay, great. So my first question, the plasma protein which acts as an antibody is called, plasma protein which acts as an antibody is called, come on, your answer should be quick. Plasma proteins which act as an antibodies are called, great, great, great. Plasma protein which acts as an antibody are called globulins or immunoglobulins. Some people have written. Any one of the three answers I can accept. Globulin, immunoglobulin, और कुछ लोगों ने लिखा gamma globulin. तो तीनों correct है. Come on. The plasma protein which does not allow the blood to clot inside the blood vessel. Immediate answer. Very good, Aditi. You are the first one to respond. The plasma protein which does not allow the blood to clot inside the blood vessel. Very good. So the correct answer is heparin. All of y'all gave the correct answer. The plasma protein which is responsible for deciding the thickness of blood, और thickness को हम लोग इंग्लिश साइंस में viscosity भी बोलते हैं. The plasma protein which controls the viscosity of blood. Very good. All of you are right. The answer is albumin. The plasma protein which helps in clotting after the blood comes out of the blood vessel. The plasma protein which helps in clotting after the blood comes out of blood vessel. Prothrombin, fibrinogen, or thromboplastin. Okay. Strictly thromboplastin is not, you cannot consider it to be a pure plasma protein. Yeah. Anyways, so that was all about plasma proteins. By asking you these questions, we also revised the plasma proteins. So now we move on to the next group, and they are formed elements. The first type of formed elements are called erythrocytes. Come on, in the chat box, tell me what are erythrocytes. Also, while you're at it, tell me what are leukocytes. And while you are at it, tell me what are thrombocytes. So erythrocytes, leukocytes, and thrombocytes. What are they? Very good. Very nice. Everybody knows this. Erythrocytes are RBCs. सबका आंसर करेक्ट है. RBCs, erythrocytes are, erythro means red, leuco means white, and thrombo means helps in clotting. Thrombosis matlab clotting. So RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. Okay. Now सबसे पहले, when we are describing them, what we'll do is we'll take some comparative things. We will take some points in which we can compare them easily. Okay. And then we will move on to the individual discussions. You know? So first what we will do is we are going to discuss the process of formation. Okay, process of formation. The process of formation of RBCs is called erythropoiesis. The process of formation of WBCs is called leukopoiesis. The process of formation of platelets is called thrombocytopoiesis or thrombopoiesis. The process of formation of RBC plus formation of WBC plus formation of platelets. Okay, that is erythropoiesis, leukopoiesis, and thrombopoiesis. Can you tell me in the chat box what is it collectively called? Very good, Kushi. Very prompt answer. Somebody from Panvel has also answered. Correct. I don't have your name. Yes, yes, you're right. You've written it twice. You're right. I don't have your name. Bharat, I don't know in which language you have written. The process is called hemopoiesis or hematopoiesis. So RBC, WBC, platelets, all of them are together called formation are called hematopoiesis. Now in our last class, we did this word hemopoiesis or hematopoiesis. Both these words are correct. Can you tell me where are RBCs, WBCs, and platelets formed? Come on. Where do you think RBCs, WBCs, and platelets are formed? Suramya, correct. Bharat, Kushi, Shamika, very good. Nodeep, Jay, you have to tell me the type. Jim also the type. So it takes place in the bone marrow. Very specifically, all of this occur in the red bone marrow. It occurs in the red bone marrow. So erythropoiesis takes place in the red bone marrow. Leukopoiesis also occurs in the red bone marrow. Thrombocytopoiesis or thrombopoiesis also occurs in the red bone marrow. Okay. Can you tell me where will I find red bone marrow? In the diaphysis or in the epiphysis of long bones? Where will I find red bone marrow? In the diaphysis of long bone or the epiphysis of long bone? In the diaphysis, we find yellow bone marrow. In the epiphysis, we will find the red bone marrow. So the red bone marrow occurs in epiphysis, not in the diaphysis. Diaphysis में होता है yellow bone marrow. Okay, so let's look at each of them in detail. Now we have the detailed formation of RBCs. Now the process of erythropoiesis takes place by a hormone called erythropoietin, and this hormone is produced by kidney. So kidney produces a hormone called erythropoietin, without which erythropoiesis will not take place. Now, since our lower standards, we have been studying a lot of endocrine glands, but not once has kidney been mentioned as an endocrine gland. If your mind is blown by listening to the fact that kidney is an endocrine gland producing a hormone called erythropoietin, you know what to do. 440. So erythropoietin produces erythropoietin is produced by the kidney, and it goes and acts on the red bone marrow. So when erythropoietin goes on the red bone marrow, the cells of the red bone marrow will produce RBCs, and the process is called erythropoiesis. Okay, now we know this fact, right? So if a person is having kidney failure, what do you think will happen to his RBC count? Will the number of RBCs in his blood increase or will it decrease? Great. All of you are correct. If kidney failure is there, kidney will not produce erythropoietin and RBCs will not be formed sufficiently. So RBC level will decrease in case of kidney failure. Good job. All of you are correct. Now basically what happens is one cell of the bone marrow. Okay. So bone marrow cell has a nucleus. Now on this cell, there will be erythropoietin. Apart from this, erythropoiesis also requires vitamin B12. Okay. It also requires one more vitamin called folic acid. So it will require vitamin B12, vitamin folic acid, and this cell of bone marrow, which is going to give rise to erythrocytes later on, is called erythroblasts. Okay, so the precursor of RBC or the bone marrow cell which gives rise to RBC later on is called erythroblast. We have done the word blast. Yes. What do you think the suffix blast means? Come on, in the chat box, quickly tell me, what does the suffix blast mean? Good, producing or to give rise to. So tell me, is erythroblast an RBC or is erythroblast not an RBC? In the chat box, tell me, is erythroblast an RBC or is erythroblast not an RBC? Very good. You all understood this very well. Erythroblast, children, is not an RBC. Okay. Erythroblast is a bone marrow cell. This bone marrow cell is going to undergo a lot of changes. Now, what are the changes which happen here? Now, there are two changes. So, there are multiple stages, but two changes keep on happening. The size of the cell keeps on decreasing, and the size of the nucleus within the cell will also keep on decreasing. So finally, the RBC which is formed is smaller than its precursor cell and it does not have a nucleus. So it is an enucleated cell. Enucleated का मतलब होता है not having a nucleus. Okay. So a mature RBC does not have a nucleus and is smaller than immature RBC. So as I was telling you that there are multiple stages in erythropoiesis. Erythroblasts will undergo multiple stages to form RBC. So just before the mature RBC is formed, there is a cell which has a very small nucleus, and inside the nucleus there are many fibers which give the appearance of a network. What is the other word for chromatin network? What is the other word for chromatin network? Very good, Niranjan. Other word for chromatin network is chromatin reticulum. Reticulum means network. So this cell is called reticulocyte because it is a cell which has a network of fibers in it. Now, you have to tell me this. The size of reticulocyte, is it greater than RBC, mature RBC, or lesser than mature RBC? Come on, in the chat box, please write down. The size of reticulocyte, is it greater than? Yes, Suramya, it's correct. Kushi, it's correct. Bharat, it is incorrect. Paragam, it is incorrect. The size of a reticulocyte is greater than the size of RBC. याद रखना, अभी तो समझाया कि during erythropoiesis, the size of the cell continuously keeps on decreasing, and the quantity or amount of nucleus or the size of nucleus also keeps on decreasing. So mature RBC is the smallest cell, and this smallest cell will have no nucleus. The stage just before mature RBC is called reticulocyte. So reticulocyte will be slightly larger than RBC. They will have webs in their cytoplasm, which is not there in RBC, and they will have a very tiny nucleus. So it is said that nature eliminated nucleus from RBCs so that it could be filled with hemoglobin. Okay. So enucleated RBC are found only in mammals. It's found in humans. It's also found in all mammals. But birds, reptiles, fishes, amphibians, ये जो भी है परमवीर के बाकी वीर, the other vertebrates, in that RBC has a nucleus. Okay. So from this, what do we know? Kushi will discuss the structure of RBC and what it does later. Okay. Next class हम करेंगे detail. So let's quickly have a recap. So the process of formation of RBC is called erythropoiesis. It occurs in the red bone marrow. It requires a hormone which is produced by the kidney called erythropoietin. So erythropoietin produces, kidney has an endocrine function which produces erythropoietin. Erythropoietin acts on the red bone marrow cells and also along with vitamin B12 and folic acid, which is also a type of vitamin. It will act on cells of the red bone marrow. The cells of the red bone marrow which give rise to RBCs are called erythroblasts. They are large cells with well-defined nucleus. The process of erythropoiesis is a multi-stage process. Throughout the process, two things are continuously seen. The size of the cell will keep on decreasing and the size of the nucleus will also keep on decreasing. The ultimate or mature RBCs are smaller than all its predecessors and they are enucleated. The immediate precursor of RBC is reticulocyte. Reticulocytes will have a web-like appearance in their cytoplasm and they will have a small nucleus. Okay. So this was all about the process of formation of RBCs. The process of formation of platelets, on the other hand, is called thrombopoiesis. Okay. The process of formation of platelets is called thrombopoiesis. It also occurs in the red bone marrow. Now, the platelets are slightly different from the rest. So how is it different from the rest? So the precursor for thrombocytopoiesis, the precursor was a cell, okay, a cell which has a very big nucleus, so much so that it covers a major portion of the cell. So the cell has a huge nucleus which covers a major portion of the cell. This is how the huge the nucleus is. Okay. So this one is called mega. Mega means large. I'm breaking the word. It's one word. Caryo. Come on in the chat box. Can you tell me what does carry on mean? In the chat box, can you tell me what does carry on mean? Prokaryotic, eukaryotic. Good Khushi. Suramya, correct. Karyo means nucleus. Aditi, Devangi, all of you all are correct. Nucleus. So it's a cell with a very large nucleus. So it's one word. I've broken it into three parts, but it's one word called megakaryocyte. So what is a megakaryocyte? It is a cell which has a large nucleus. Now what happens is during the process of platelets, one cell here will enlarge, and as this cell enlarges, it will rupture, it will break. वो बड़ा होते जाता है. आरबीसी में सेल छोटा होते जाता है. थ्रोम्बोपोएसिस में सेल बड़ा होते जाता है और बड़े होने के बाद it will rupture. And these ruptured parts or ruptured fragments of this cell, these fragments are considered as platelets. So obviously they will be enucleated. So that is why some people don't consider platelets as the true cells. So they are not the true cells of blood. They are not the true cells of blood. Okay. So what is the difference between erythropoiesis and thrombopoiesis? Erythropoiesis में one erythroblast will give rise to one RBC. Here, one megakaryocyte will give rise to hundreds of platelets. And that is why platelets are not considered as true cells of blood, because they are fragments of megakaryocytes. Okay, they are fragments of megakaryocytes. Now, the process of leukopoiesis is extremely complicated, and luckily we don't have the process of leukopoiesis in our syllabus. Okay, so you just have to remember the precursor of RBC is erythroblast. The precursor of platelets is megakaryocyte. Both of them are cells of the bone marrow. One erythroblast will give rise to one RBC, and one platelet, one megakaryocyte will give rise to multiple platelets. Okay. So this is about the three blood cells ka formation. So erythrocyte, leukocyte, platelets. Then we have something known as lifespan. Now erythrocytes and platelets, okay, they are without nucleus. So when they are created, what happens is they cannot divide. Leukocytes can divide on their own, but erythrocytes and platelets cannot. So they have a very fixed limited lifespan. Erythrocytes have a lifespan of 120 days. Platelets have a lifespan of 7 to 10 days, a week. WBCs are our warriors. So some of them may be alive for a few hours to some few days. Okay. So in terms of lifespan, the cell with maximum lifespan is erythrocyte, and the cell with minimum lifespan is leukocyte. Now what happens after the cells reach their lifespan? Once they reach their lifespan, the cells are destroyed. Now all the blood cells are destroyed by spleen. Okay? And this spleen, once it produces substances, they may be toxin. So they are detoxified by the only detoxifying organ of the body, and that is liver. So after their life is over, once they die, they are destroyed by the spleen. And once the spleen destroys it, if toxic substances come out, they will go to the liver for detoxification. So we say they are together destroyed by spleen and liver. In fact, destruction of RBCs is called hemolysis. Can you tell me what will be the meaning of the word lysis? Meaning of the word lysis? Lysis means to break down, destroy, correct? All of you are right. Lysis means to break down. So the process of breakdown of RBCs is called hemolysis. Mainly it takes place in the spleen. So spleen hence is also called the slaughterhouse of RBCs. But याद रखना, spleen 120 days के ऊपर वाले RBCs को slaughter करता है. उसके नीचे inactive RBCs को slaughter करेगा. Okay, another word given in your books is slaughterhouse का मतलब क्या है? Butcher house. Okay, जहाँ पे animals को काटते हैं उसको slaughter house बोलते हैं. तो RBC को काटते जाता है spleen में, so इसीलिए उसको slaughter house बोलते हैं. This is also called graveyard of RBCs. क्योंकि यहाँ पे डेड आरबीसी दफना दिए जाते हैं, ब्रेक डाउन कर दिया जाता है. बट स्प्लीन एंड लिवर ब्रेक not only RBCs but also platelets and WBCs also. Yeah. So we just gave the introduction of blood cells. We also revised the blood cells as we went ahead. The cell with maximum lifespan is erythrocytes. With the minimum lifespan is leukocyte. The process of formation of RBCs is called erythropoiesis. The process of formation of WBC is called leukopoiesis, thrombopoiesis. Okay. The difference in erythropoiesis and thrombopoiesis is, in erythropoiesis, the cell of the bone marrow called erythroblast will produce one RBC. In thrombopoiesis, the cells of the cells of bone marrow called megakaryocytes will produce multiple platelets, hundreds of platelets, right? We'll pause here. In our next class, we will study more about RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. Thank you very much, children. If you have any queries, any doubts, you can type it in the chat box. Thank you, children. God bless you. Take care. Be safe and happy studying. Bye-bye, everyone.